Hi, hello, and welcome, and it's lovely to be with you yet again. I've put up some small posts about some things that have been happening because we've been in some interesting times. For those of us who have been feeling the need to sleep a lot, just relax. You're not alone, you're with a lot of other people. And some of us have been having quite vivid dreams. So I've covered that off in the Neptune video, just a really short video, so go and have a look at it. Nothing to worry about. I just wanted to have a quick chat to you about some of those things, about sleeping a lot and having quite vivid dreams. And I want you to be very reassured that you are just, when I say you, it's you in your physical body, but it's actually the spiritual body doing all the work, reconciling and going through, and it's like a big clean out. And the reason we've been having this big clean out is because we're going to have a full moon in the next couple of days on the 2nd of August. So we're going to have a full moon in Pisces, and it's in the sign of Virgo. Now what's interesting about this full moon, what's really interesting about this full moon is that Pisces, in this instance, this full moon, it's going to be highlighting and looking at our spirituality in our everyday life. And it's looking at how we are living and acting our spirituality. And it's in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is very much about our everyday life, and in particular is having a look at the tools we have, which means what are the mechanisms that we are using to have our spirituality integrated into our everyday life. Now, the reason that this is kind of important for us is because for many of us culturally, we have lost the formality of religion, which was traditionally how spirituality was seen. And we've lost those routines, those rituals, and we've even lost the language. So in modern day spirituality, there is a lack of a common language. There are some words we see repeated over and over again, but we don't have this whole big tome, which is a book which is descriptive of how that religion is and the language of that religion. And if we're talking about spirituality before religion, was the key way that people experienced spirituality. And now what's happening is that spirituality is a little bit freeform. It has undergone some reshaping and some redefining, and it's become very much an individual journey where we are being asked to work with spirit. We are being asked to work out what our journey is and how we are living a spiritual life. And in many ways, that spiritual life, because it doesn't have that structure around it, but all of our other lives, our work life, our sporting life, our group life, our friendship life, there's some structure around it. So the spiritual life doesn't have that structure. So it's saying to us, well, how do you want to experience your spirituality, show your spirituality, and be spiritual on your everyday life? And that's where the balance is about with this full moon. And that's why I think it's going to be interesting for us to see, well, how am I doing this, and how am I sharing that, and how am I expressing that, and what does that look like for me in my everyday life? And that's what spirituality is about. It's not something that we take and sit to the side of us. It's not meant to be like that. It's meant to be part of our life. We are meant to express it in how we do things and how we go about living. And for all of us, that is the challenge, isn't it? It's not challenging to have your own spiritual practice amongst your friends, in this tight group, or even with yourself. The challenge is, how do I take it beyond me and the intimate and show it out broadly to the rest of the world that this is my faith, this is the path that I'm on, this is what I'm believing in, and this is how I'm demonstrating it. And I think that's going to be quite a challenge. Now, this full moon is going to be in absolute harmony with Uranus. Now, it's been Uranus who's been triggering all these deep dreams and vivid dreams and this sleep pattern that we've been going through. Helped along by Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, coming out of retrograde. And remember, Uranus has gone into retrograde. So what's interesting about that is Uranus is this Neptunial deep sea aspect, but it's also likes to give a little bit of a shock every now and then. So we could be given some insights into where we need to change. Or we could be giving some insights into, oh, I am actually living my life spiritually, and this is how it's being demonstrated. And it's like a burst to give that extra oomph and to push that forward. And that's what I'm really liking about this full moon that's coming up. I keep saying new moon. And I think I'm saying new moon because it's going to be new, right? Some of the things that we've been subconsciously or on a spiritual plane going through, we're actually then going to be able to look at that and go, okay, so this is how I need to take that and put this into the everyday. So that should bring us some great clarity, and that's going to be really, really lovely. So your practices might get a little bit of a boost, and we might be feeling like we want to share and demonstrate and be more aware of how we're doing it. So I think that's a really, really nice full moon that's coming up. And just be aware that Uranus is a little bit about giving us a shock every now and then. So some of the things that might come up might give us cause to go, oh, I really wasn't expecting that. Now, I talked about this moon as being a manifesting moon, so I'm hoping you've all started to see manifestations. One of the ways you will be looking at and seeing manifestations is things that you were thinking that you might like to have, quite bizarre, maybe even quite small things, you're going to find. And they're going to come into fruition. So something, don't be surprised, if something you've been thinking about and something that you've wanted for some time is gifted to you, because that is manifesting. And that's a lovely space to be. And this manifesting, which is kicked on from what was the new moon, it hasn't quite finished yet because there's going to be a little bit more, sorry, just getting rid of my notes, there's going to be a little bit more of a kick in of that manifestation. And what that manifestation might actually be is a little bit of an awareness of how to get yourself to that next space that you want to be in. And that's what we've got to look forward to. Because manifestation, when I say it is a gift, I want you to think more about it's a bit of a reward. It's a talisman that's saying you're on the path. It's a talisman saying you've done the work. It's a talisman saying keep it up. I'm really, really happy with everything that you're doing. And please remember that the spiritual journey is, while we can share it collectively, it's very individualized. Your relationship to spirit depends very much on the path that you are on. Now, I've got the Dreams of Gaia out, and I've got the Dear Ken Darling Oracle cards. It just seemed to be right. When Spirit was talking, I'll explain to you in a video how I operate, but when Spirit was saying to me about what cards to use, it was like I couldn't work it out. And then I would reach for a pack, and then I'll be like, no, that's not quite right. And normally I'm very clear, as in I get really clear messages, so I think it's even interesting at the moment that Spirit is giving us lots of options, but is really asking us to tune in. And that was my lesson from collecting the cards. Now, Ace of Air. Now, what's interesting about the Ace of Air is that when you start thinking about new way of thinking, what I want you to think about this is going to be a bit of a paradigm shift. There's going to be a reframing. That's what I think is coming forward with this full moon, a reframing. I think that's definitely right. Because here's the Five of Earth. And it's got the Ace of Spades with it. Sorry, this is the Five of Fire. Get it right, in the Ace of Spades. Spades is fire, spades is swords. And what this is looking at is, and you can see that there's a woman down in the back, yeah. And we talked about bringing things into balance, and this is showing us with the Five of Fire that we are out of balance. So there needs to be a rethinking about our relationship to the world, because we're thinking at the moment that something is not right, that we're not being given what we should be given, and it's a paradigm shift which is going to change our perspective of what our life is and what we've been given in our life. So we're definitely going to get more understanding about our path and our spiritual path. All right, so let's see what else we've got. The card's now gone a bit sticky. Because often a change in your life, while we think about it being something that happens on the physical plane, the biggest change in our life is to actually shift the way we see life and the way we think about life. That's the biggest shift. And that's what the spiritual plane is all about, and that's what a paradigm shift is on the spiritual plane. Now that's interesting, because we've got another five. So we've had the Five of Air, now I've got the Five of Fire, and we'll look at that. Fighting. So there's some inner conflict where we are out of balance. And the fives are looking at a need for change. That's what a five is in the tarot cards. It's a need for change. So there's some internal struggle that we're going through. Ooh. And what is that struggle? It's the perpetual struggle of, and I don't know if you can read that, but it says emotion over intelligence. And when we're out of balance, I'm just putting that so you can see it. I'll put it up this side, can we see it better? That's when we're out of balance. When the emotional and the intelligence is out of balance. And the paradigm shift is going to bring both of those back into balance. And that'll be very nice to do. And that's the 11th card, which is a 2, which is harmony. Ah, okay, very good. Six. So we're going from a graduation from a 5 to a 6. I'll bring this over the side, I think it's better to the right. Feel free to freeze and have a good look at the cards if you need to. And that's really, really nice. That's two opposites coming together in harmony. And someone is instructing them behind it. You can see they've got a big cup. And cups, as we know, is emotion. And it's asking them to come together. And at the very bottom is the plant. And that's where the emotional growth is going to come from. And then the other card that's come up is wisdom. And see the light? We are being shown the path, and we will be getting shown the path. So if these vivid dreams that you're having, you're not remembering anything, don't worry about it. You're not supposed to remember anything. If you do remember it, then you are supposed to remember it. It's really that simple. That's it. And look at that. That's a new beginning. And that's fire again. So this has got to do a lot with our relationship to the world. Now there's a spider down the bottom. Some people don't like spiders. But the thing about the spider is weaving a web. Because it's not about being separated. It's about things being integrated. It's not about one being better than the other. It's not about one being more important than the other. It's about bringing things into harmony. Now, harmony and balance is not about everything being completely harmonious and in balance the entire time. What a boring world that would be. What it's about is over the period of time, there is a balance because we are living. And we're not living isolated, we're living in a community. So there are going to be influences from people that we love, that we like, and even if we don't like them, there's going to be influences from people. So I find all of that really fascinating. I was going to stop, but I've just got the one more. So let's just see, it's quite an interesting. So we're going from being quite out of balance, yes, that's much better, to bringing ourselves back into balance and having these new beginnings about our relationships, a paradigm shift in terms of how we see ourselves in this world and how we're experiencing things in our physical world. And the outcome is the two. We're going to definitely be coming into harmony. It's the Two of Cups. It's finding your equal and having that reflected back to you. And coming straight along with that, two of them came out together, is the Four, which is contemplation and being in balance. The Four of Cups. So that's the promise to you. There will be movement. And we might feel out of sorts because we are out of balance. And the out of balances is this instinct of emotion and intellect. Who should we trust? What should we trust? What's important? And we should be trusting both at the same time. But we have learned not to trust our instincts or to trust our emotions, and we've got to get back into practicing that. And the outcome is definitely us being far more balanced. And what's the reading? Oh, yes. The environment is faith. So it's all about our faith. It's all about our spiritual beliefs. And I was looking at the cards, and we're just going to do the one, I think. Yeah. Oh, and it flew out. Appreciation, gratitude. How beautiful is that? True appreciation energetically blesses your life of gratitude. Oh. Being truly appreciative and expressing real gratitude for your creativity, strength and capability enable your soul's evolution. So being truly appreciative and expressing real gratitude for your creativity, strength and capability enables your soul's evolution. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate all your experiences and abilities to energize and create your dream life. Appreciative and grateful for all I have and can create. So this is about us showing real gratitude to the universe for all of our blessings, for all of our creativity and how far we've come. It's about having faith in where we are and what's around us and what is coming. And this full moon is about bringing into balance our own sense of spirituality with the world around us and how we are living that out. And I think that is absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful message. All right, take care, and I'll be back with you soon. Bye.